Good morning, everybody, and happy Shabbat. You know, it is very, very sad, really sad. Let me throw up this banner because I'm not even going to say anything. I'm just going to let you guys hear something. I just want you guys to hear something. Hold on. Oh, where's this banner is? Here it is right here. So, when YouTube think they're going to, you know, say I said something. I'm not saying a word. Okay. Oops. What am I doing? Oh, all right. So, as you guys see, boy, oh boy, we are truly in the last days. And I was just sitting here watching this, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Okay. So I'm gonna share my screen and I'm gonna play this, and I'm gonna let you guys hear for yourselves, and as well as first, let me just do this real quick because it's always a blessing when the Most High opens your eyes and you're no longer blind, stuck in the world anymore, right? Let me just do this here, blow this up here. Okay. Just want to take you guys to a little trip, let you guys know that, I've already covered this a while back. Okay. And that many people should have went and go to watch this. And then I did other videos that, got taken down. But, for the most part, let's just go on my channel real quick. So I urge you guys, go and watch this video because I talked about this already. Okay. And the whole thing here. Okay. Let's see. So this video here. Let me go all the way down. This one right here. Okay. And where is it? That one and this one here. It's actually three parts of this. The Revelation 13 examination, first beast, second beast. What else? And the coming mark, right? So I was did that one, and then I did this one as well. Of course, David don't like that video I just passed. Anyway, it's another couple of videos with, talking about the whole thing there. But I want you guys to hear this. Okay, I just put this in here, blow this up. So I put this in, right? Because you all should know. You all should know, right? Everybody knows. But let's just humor ourselves because I already showed a part of this video once before, and just give me a second as I get my phone set up so I can view the chat as well. And I'm gonna mute my mic because it's gonna be a little bit of back feed. So give me a second. All right. Had to mute myself on here. And now we could let this play as I keep my eyes on the chat. All right. So I want you guys to hear this here. Again, I'm not saying anything about it being in anything What I am saying is they're announcing, they bringing this thing up from 2017, the 3 squared market thing, bringing that up, right? So they're bringing that into this equation. Now I want you to hear it out of the guy's own words. Okay, just take a listen here. I mean, it's only 5 minutes. We're gonna play this whole thing. Okay, and I want you guys to see if this sounds familiar for those that have went to those lives that I did when I did a whole breakdown of, the whole Revelation 13. How is it that they're gonna cause? It's not they're gonna force. It's not they're gonna trick you. They're gonna cause all, right? All, right? But in Revelation 14, it says there are some that won't take it, right? And these are the ones that, these are the ones that are actually a part of that number, right? That number. David, no one hates anybody. Kat's just asking me a question of why do I hate her? Because, well, that's another story. But anyway, let's take a listen here and see what this whole thing is all about. And find it very funny. It lines up with scripture, right? Tells you, they're just basically telling people exactly what it is.
Wisconsin, land of beer, cheese, and real-life dystopian technology that's going to control your every move. A Wisconsin-based company, 3 Square Market, announced its plans to install rice-sized microchips in its employees.
That's right. This company is shoving microchips into their employees, and this movement is spreading worldwide.
In Sweden, thousands already have microchip implants.
Now, you see this, I'm using this on the basis of, fair use, right? So I'm going to pause it here. Now, notice they said this is a worldwide thing. Okay. It's not just in one location. So this would come into play when it says he causes all, both small. There's everybody on the world. It's not just one place. Okay. So let's take a listen and see where they say this thing goes, right?
Implants that they use in their daily lives.
Next thing you know, we'll all be chipped.
Yeah. Kind of like what I've been saying. But I'm not saying anything. Okay. I'm not saying that it's in anything. I'm just letting you guys hear what they're saying. Okay. And this is off The Daily Show with Trevor Noah. Okay. It has 9.31 million subscribers, right? And it has 400. I want you guys to see these numbers. 494,648 views. It was put out January 6th, 2021. 13K like, and you see the other number over there, right? So if they try and strike me, they're going to have to strike this channel again, because no one's saying anything. I'm just showing you guys what I did in the past and how it's coming into play. And what I told people to watch out for, you should know. Okay. Now, take a listen where they say this thing is going to eventually go. And of course, it wouldn't be, the CVS, because they're not doing that in the hand. Okay. But I want you guys to see for yourself that, yeah, that's leading up to it. Because, it's only so many times they're going to stick you before it be one of these.
I'm going to pull a Harriet Tubman and free these white people. Wait, you know what I mean.
I had to put an end to this evil technology before it dominates us all. The removal wasn't going to be pretty, but luckily I spent a summer working as an unlicensed proctologist.
Bend over. Here to strike your chip.
Again, they make jokes. And she comes in acting like one of those doctors that put their hands up your you-know-what and says, bend over, I'm here to extract your chip. And this guy says,
what are you talking about?
the chip they put in you. I'm here to take it out.
I volunteered.
I volunteered. And she says, you volunteered. Now look at what she does here.
Volunteered?
Yeah.
What? Hey, who else volunteered to get this chip?
Everybody. Everybody in there. And they're telling you because this is what's coming down the pike. Why is it that everybody's in their cubicles and they're chipped? Well, one part of the component is you can't buy and sell without it, right? Revelation 13, 16 to 18, right? Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, right? So we understand that from Revelation chapter 13, this is what's happening. And we're experiencing this, and this is why I'm like, I don't see how anybody could be sleeping right now. Everybody just want to go back to normal. I told people they're not going to let us go back to normal because this is the end game. Okay, they have to, implement this somehow. And I find it very, very interesting that, it would be Joe Biden, the guy that was pushing it under Obama's term, right, in the Senate. Let me bring that up because not a lot of people, watch these Senate conversations that they have, right? Let's bring that up, right? Bring this up because this is all fair use, right? This is all for the purposes of education, right? And learning and parodies and all that stuff, right? So let's see here. Let's take a listen to that. What year was that? Maybe it'll bring it up. Let's see here. What is this? And then again, this is him pushing this, but it's not what, And then she's showing you this thing, this technology that I've been showing you guys that they're putting up all over the street poles. It looks like V2K. And if you don't know about V2K, it's supposed to be their voice to skull technology, the coming alien deception. If you've ever looked into, if you've ever looked into, what is that? Project Bluebeam, right? How they're going to fake this, look at this. Just because a lot of people won't go and look this stuff up. A lot of people will say, oh, this is, conspiracy. But here you go. They got all this, right? This is what their plan was. This was what was coming out in 2017, right? Dealing with artificial intelligence and all this stuff, right? Talks about UFO sightings, but, of course they bury the information. So let me just hit the images. And this is what this whole thing is all about, right? The coming alien deception and the false return of the Messiah. Remember what it says in the scriptures. For when they say, lo, here is Christ, or lo, there is Christ, believe it not, right? And then they putting up these, they've been testing this technology, a lot of these UFO sightings, because I've always wondered, and as I said, this is going to be, sort of kind of part of my testimony here into, why I believe what I believe about the true biblical cosmology of what we live on and in, right? Versus what they're telling us. Because if you believe we're on a spinning ball, then you believe that aliens come from outer space, and you believe in all the other planets and all the galaxies and the wormholes and the planets, right? Again, I broke down that Hebrew word for wandering stars, which is planetes, where we get our word planet from. So again, these are stars in the firmament, right? When we read some of this stuff is very literal, but sometimes he speaks in parables, which today we would call metaphor, right? Metaphors, right? Like in Enoch, when he compares, certain nations of people to animals, right? Again, this is this is a year ago. Verify, are the what in the what? Okay. And then when I was talking about this stuff, they shut my channel down. But I'm just showing you how the news could go out there and push this whole narrative. But anybody that comes out and knows what's going on, because again, we're in these last days where it's becoming apparent that the Bible is 100% truth, right? And you see that they're doing this, right? And then here's a year ago when it first came out, they were pushing it, right? Saying, "Oh, it's not going to be in there. It's just going to be on the back of it, right? We're just going to have it on the back, right? It's optional, right? Optional, because they were telling people, but again, if I say it, then they shut my channel down. And I wonder why that is. Here it is right here. This is it right here. This is what I want. Let's take a listen. U.S. Senate, like I said, Joe Biden, right? Who knows if this is Joe Biden's actual account on YouTube, but again, let's take a listen to what Biden says about this said little thing here that I believe, they're on the way, or if they're not on the way, maybe it could be the boost, right? Who knows? I'm just letting you guys know to be aware, because the way you're going to see the way it's implemented. Okay. And I told people, 4 years ago, when you start seeing people scanning their hands at checkout, that what I was telling you a long time ago was true. Look, I asked a family member of mine that, that knows about it, and it was confirmed. That's how I know that this is what it is. Okay. I ain't gonna mention who it is, but I have confirmation. I have 100% confirmation. And then again, this all ties in with everything, right? The 5G, the AI, the blockchain, the Bitcoin, right? Remember what I was saying? Blockchain, Bitcoin, all over Facebook. I've been telling people for years. Okay. So again, not on Facebook, but, various scenarios at work and all this stuff. I actually one of these days scared one of my bosses because they knew about it and they knew it was coming down the pike. And they said, well, we didn't know that they were going to start doing it that fast. That was in 2017. Then when I started coming out talking about it, they kind of, when everybody, not just me, everybody that knew about it started coming out talking about it, that's when they start pushing this thing back. But I think they're running out of time, and Joe Biden is their, hitch man to bring it all about. So take a listen here.
Africa. The favorites in South Africa are the people who are being repressed by that ugly white regime. We have rights are not derived from any government.
Okay, let me see if I can find this exact clip where he's saying this, because this is just a bunch of clips here. Sorry, I didn't come prepared. This was like just a, spare the air, because I seen this in the news and I said, you know what, I might as well just say something about it. But anyway, let me see here. It's all over the news anyway. It's all over. What is this? No, that's not it. Geez, where is this video? I just saw it like a couple of days ago. They were talking about. I was all over this stuff, watching this. And I was just sitting here and I was just like, man, here it is right here. Listen, this Joe
Our
Biden.
constitutional journey did not stop then, and it must not stop now, Judge. And we'll be faced with equally consequential decisions in the 21st century. Can a microscopic tag be implanted in a person's body to track his every movement? There's actual discussion about that. You will rule on that, mark my words, before your tenure is over. Can brain scans be used to determine whether a person is inclined toward criminality or violent behavior? You will rule on that.
Okay, so we understand now. All right. And, it talks about the mark being in the hand or in the forehead, right? Then you have that whole thing about Obama coming out with the, what is that, brain gate or whatever that was. They were talking about studying the human mind. And you got Elon Musk talking about Neuralink and the celebrities that are, nothing more than Satan's puppets pushing this whole thing, right? Talking about they're going to get Neuralink in 2022, right? So you have all these components and it's all leading up to one big agenda, right? They already, who knows, they already probably did the Noah, right? Can't really say it because, again, they'll shut me down. But I'm going to speak in code. Did the days of Noah, the manipulating of the gene pool, shall we say. But who knows, right? I find it very, very fascinating that, this report comes out 180 days and they give us nothing, right? Okay, right? They give us nothing, right? Let's just see what they give us. Let's see, because this was supposed to be done in June. Let's see what they release here. What's inside the long-awaited UFO report? Because again, they're again, the great deception is on the way. So this is all about, again, I can't say the word, so I'm gonna highlight it because again, the tyranny of YouTube won't allow me to speak freely, although we are supposedly in America where freedom of speech reigns, right? Again. One of the many curiosities packed into the 2.3 trillion omnibus spinning on the CVS relief package passed by Congress in December was stipulation requiring the Department of Defense and the Office of Director of National Intelligence to deliver an unclassified report. So they're gonna have an unclassified report, but the thing is, they're not going to show you what they're classifying, right? So again, they're only going to tell you about what's unclassified on unidentifying flying objects to Congress within 6 months. And this was signed in December 27th, right? And then I did the little date converter. It's supposed to be, June 25th, around that time. And they did, but they gave us, let's see what they gave us, because this is what they're supposed to have given us, right? Compiling what the government knows about the UFO rocketing all around over American airspace. The long-awaited report, first report, was released on Friday, right? The first report. Only 9 pages, only 9, right? All that stuff they were catching from Roswell all the way up, right? From the real Battle of Los Angeles. And when you guys look at that, right? How they made a movie and fictionized what they didn't teach about this real event, right? It's the real Battle of Los Angeles, not to be mistaken with, not to be mistaken with this. Okay, not to be mistaken with this. This is only the way they tell you, right? You see what this whole thing depicts here? You got this soldier here, and he's standing, and it's all this stuff burning up at the bottom, and you got this big mothership here, right? And then up here, it talks about the Battle of Los Angeles, right? And notice they got this one cover here with all these spotlights. Find it very fascinating. These spotlights pointing up kind of reminds you of this real event here with all these spotlights, as you see on this movie cover, basically telling you what they didn't teach us in school about the Battle of Los Angeles, also known as the Great Los Angeles Air Raid, name given by contemporary sources to a rumored attack on the continental United States by Imperial Japan and a subsequent anti-aircraft artillery barrage, which took place from late 24th February, earlier 24th February 1942 over Los Angeles, California. So then they talk about this whole air raid thing. Then they go down here and they say this was around the time World War II. And let's see here if they have this, if they didn't alter this here, right? They say they said the war ended in 1945. The Japanese government declared they had flown no airplanes over Los Angeles during the war. But, it talks about, where is this whole thing here? They probably scrubbed it. Yeah, they talk about the Japanese. Here it is, right here. Ufology, right? This is what I'm looking for right here. Okay. It says right here, a photo published in the Los Angeles Times on February 26, 1942, has been featured in UFO conspiracy theories. Again, CIA created term conspiracy theory to keep you from looking at the truth, was invented around 1947, I believe after the assassination of JFK. And you can go look at that. It's declassified info. It's called FOIA, Freedom of Information Act, right? So it talks about they say UFO conspiracy theories as evidence of an extraterrestrial visitation. They assert that the photo clearly shows searchlights focused on an alien airship. Again, they talk about how they in the whole thing, they talk about how they shoot the thing down and it lands in the water and they send these ships and they couldn't find whatever it was. And then all of a sudden now, they call UFOs conspiracy theory here. And now they're coming out and telling people basically UFOs are real. Okay, this is how they work. And then on top of that, they tell you a whole lie surrounding the whole thing, right? Again, 144 reports, and they only give you 9. What is that? How many pages? 9 pages. They say 9. Let me see. Let's see here. 6 months. Yeah, only 9 pages. Right? Only 9 pages. You have 144 reports. How'd you fit 144 reports on only 9 pages? Again, they say, what is this information report based on? The Pentagon Task Force preliminary assessment is based on a blah, blah, blah. So they're just talking about how they're documenting it, and they talk about the movements and all that stuff. What does this report conclude? Okay, now let's see what they came to a conclusion of. Again, because they're not going to tell you exactly what these things are. They're not. Because see, it's a whole, Elon Musk has to get to Mars by 2024, right? So they got to keep pushing this, right? Until the world wakes up and this whole lie breaks down, right? But again, read Genesis, read Job 37:38, read 2 Peter 3, right? Tells you right there. For this, they are willingly ignorant. Let's bring that up, right? Because people don't know or understand what this means, right? You read this whole chapter. Peter, 2 Peter. All right. Bring this up, right? Again. And we'll go into this whole thing. Okay, but all in all, this here, why they got this blank? This here, we're going to play some more of this, but this here ties in with this whole alien deception that they got coming. Who knows? We don't know. I'm just letting you guys know ahead of time. This is what they're, but of course it always, stalls them a little bit. They need to add a little bit more fear, a little bit more chaos as they do, right? And it's just sad seeing how much chaos is in the world, especially after what happened to that president over in, what is that, Haiti? Yeah, that was the removal, and they're gonna now put their little puppet that they choose up over there. So be aware of that. There are ways that they overthrow governments to set up their own little power or their little figurehead over there. And it kind of reminds me of these 10 kings that has no kingdom as of yet, but are given power to being kings 1 hour with the beast. Okay, so who knows how that's going to play out? But I think that they're setting up certain people that's going to go along with their agenda with no with no resistance. Okay, because once they have a government that resists, I mean, you guys see what happened to all other governments that resist. And I think that these three heads, this eagle that Ezra talks about, is really Russia, Rome, and America, or it could be China. He says he saved the three heads. We know that China, right? In China, they're persecuting whoever believes in the Bible, right? And then you got Russia, who's also doing the same, but they're kind of low key with that. That's the whole thing that comes with communism, right? And then you got America slowly crumbling. America's being weakened slowly, right? Because they it's just something that they just, I don't know. It's just something that they just can't do America, like they're doing all these other countries, for some odd reason. But they're just slow cooking America right now. But again, 2 Peter chapter 3. Okay, you guys can go and read this whole thing, because we're going to go into this whole thing here, right? Because I'm not going to convince anybody. I'm just going to bring you the truth. And whatever anybody says or thinks, hey, that's on you guys. Come to your own conclusions. We could go into the Hebrew words again as well, right? The words that were used for heaven, and the same being as firmament. Rakia is the Shemaim, right? The Shemaim, right? Rakia and Shemaim are one and the same. But talks about this, right? The second epistle, beloved, I now write unto you, in both which I stir up your pure minds by way of remembrance, that ye be mindful of the words which were spoken before by the holy prophets of the commandment of us the apostles of the Lord and Savior are, the Son of God, the King of Kings, right? The first, knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers walking after their own lust, saying, where's the promise of his coming? For since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the beginning of creation. So from the beginning of creation, for this is the key here, right here. And this is why I say, this is why I'm making this reference here to about this whole thing about UFOs and space, other planets, galaxies, wormholes that they tell us exist, but it's all a lie. Okay. For this they willingly are ignorant of that by the word of the Most High, the heavens are the Shemayim were of old, and the earth standing out of the water and in the water. Okay. And nowhere have you seen space. And it says here, whereby the world that was then was being overflowed with water. How was the world overflow with water on our current model that we believe today? But the heavens and the earth, which are now by the same word, are kept in store, reserved unto fire against the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly men. But beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day is with the Lord, or the Most High Son, or the Most High. We don't know which way they're using Lord here. Has 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is one day. Okay. So we have this whole thing here from 5 to 6 or 5 to 7, right? Okay. Now from the old, right? Let's go back to the old here. Because again, I'm not convincing anybody anymore of this whole biblical truth when you go and do the words. Look at the words, look at what they believed back then. Okay. Look at what the prophets and stuff talked about. Ezekiel 1, Ezekiel's wheels, right? Tells you right there. Tells you in Isaiah 66, heaven is my throne and the earth is my footstool. So, okay, so the Rakia or the Shemayim is his throne. Okay, again, before I play more of this video, I just want to give a little break in between here. In the beginning, the Most High created the heavens and the earth. The earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. So the deep, the face of the deep, the waters, right? The Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. I don't see space anywhere yet. Okay, the face of the waters, right? The creation of light. We know that light, that John chapter 1, right? But this is talking about the day and the night, right? Being darkness and light. And the firmament, again, the rakia, the expanse, the vault of heaven, which supports the waters above. Again, let's go into this word for again, the firmament. Okay, because this is why I harp on this word a lot. Okay, that's why I harp on it a lot, because again, the whole deception starts at the creation. This is why in school we're taught the ball. Okay, there's nothing wrong with understanding the truth, unless you're gonna be one of these people that's a parrot for the CIA, right? That created this term that everybody, parrots, right? Conspiracy. Let's see where this term came from. And you see what they got on this whole thing right here. Starts with that, right? And it says here, talks about a conspiracy theory is an explanation for an event or situation that invokes a conspiracy by sinister and powerful groups, often political in motivation. Again, they're telling you, again, these are the guys that's behind it all. And they're going to keep doing it till people call them out on their garbage. Now, I'm not afraid to call them out on their garbage, right? Rakia for firmament. Blow this up so you guys can see. The extended surface solid expanse firmament, expanse flat as base. Flat. If the firmament sits on the world and the world supports the firmament and the base is flat and the earth is the base, then that tells us what? It ain't indeed a ball spinning and shooting around in space at 66,600 miles per hour, with the first three numbers there being your little code there, right? How they tell you, Peggy, right? Let's go here, the Peggy. Hey, again, Peggy Watson. The deception's real, and it's coming. Here you go. Peggy Watson, first female astronaut, right? Who spends, and they highlighted this, right? They highlighted this. Let's go here. See what this news say from 2017. Okay. Talks about all this stuff. I found this funny when it's made, headlines. All right, is this even it? See if this is it. No. All these astronauts, none but Freemason trash. Peggy Whitson is her name. Let's see here. See if they give us her grand. See, they put, look at this. They put 665 here. No, that's not what the report said. This is how they lie. Watch this. You see that number? They put 665, but this is what they say. Let's see. Let's go to the audio. Go to the news, right? Videos. Actually, let's go back to news. No, say it on the video. Let's go here. Oh, they scrubbed the video, eh? Yeah. Okay. All right, let's get back to this one video, and I'm going to bring up the Peggy Whitson news article. Well, the news where they outright said she spent 666 days in space. Like, come on, dude. Come on. And everybody's like, oh, Peggy Whitson's, the first female astronaut, and all plotting. And you don't even know what they're, people don't even read the Bible. That's sad. It's very sad. But anyway, let's listen.
In you, black dude. Come on, man. So I sat face to face with the man
And had to throw that Biden phrase out there. Come on, man.
responsible for running a company of chipped employees. So where exactly is this chip implanted?
She asked him, where exactly is this chip implanted? Now, let me bring this up. So when you get the answer, you'll have exactly, understand that, okay? So this is them, how they mock, how they tell you what's coming down the pike. This was done January 6, 2021, okay, this year, okay?
Right there.
Right there, okay? Now, look at this, okay? Look at this. Okay, he just showed you where they said that it goes, right? Goes right there, right? Showing you. Here you go. So it talks about how he deceives them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had a wound by the sword and did live, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. This is your AI. And that the image of the beast should both speak. They're talking about making these giant robots, AI powered, of people, right? Starting it off, testing. Let's see how people react to this stuff, right? And as many as would not, it caused that as many would not worship the image of the beast should be killed, cause all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. And it goes on to say, here is wisdom, let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 636. And they're pushing this number all over the place. And then you go into the very next chapter here, right? It talks a little bit more about what's going to happen, talks about that. What's going to happen is when the Messiah comes back, right? When the Lamb, Son of God, Yehoshua, Christ, talks about here in the third angel that flies, following, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, which is what most of them people in there did, right? But they're pushing this as, it's a good thing, And I told people that they were going to do this. Oh, you're not going to be able to unlock your car. You're going to be able to lock your door. You're not going to be able to buy goods. You're not going to be able to work, because if you do work, how are you going to get your money? Everything's going to be on that thing. And I'm going to play this one other video. This guy who actually created this, and the guy talks about it, and I'm going to let that play again. But this is what's coming down the pike for their, new currency that they got coming. That, the reason why they're spreading this money out with the stimulus and the extra boost on the unemployment is nothing more but to cripple the economy, right? That's all it's all about. Let's go all the way down here. Okay. I'm going to pause this one. And let me see. I got to go all the way probably to the end here, so that you don't hear this chick talking, but they give you the full thing. But she's actually just basically giving a commentary. Let me see where I can start off, where he's giving his full testimony, where there's no interruptions in the video. And people could listen to this and go read Revelation 13. And all I can say is pray about it, ask the Most High to, show you what it is, or if it's actually what it is. Because I'm telling you, I think this is what it is. And now that they're coming out in the news and they're talking about this stuff, right? Basically slow leaking it. First, it was the Pentagon. Now they got the, all this other stuff. They putting parodies out about it. They're trying to desensitize many people to taking it, right? So let's go and continue a little bit on more with this. And then I'm going to play this video. Matter of fact, let's just see here. I'm going to mute my mic and see where I can start this. Hold on. All right, I'm gonna start it right about there. But first, I'm gonna go back here and play this. Okay, let's just take a look. Just so you guys can know that, hey, it is what it is. They're already telling us, and only those that are gonna be wise enough to listen and not just, I want to go back to, that's what it says in Luke, right? Luke chapter 21, dealing with this, right? We already warned this is going to come like a snare, and it's coming. It's coming like a snare, right? Says all the way down here, after there are signs in the sun and moon and stars upon the earth, distress of nations, with perplexity, the sea and waves. We're already here. We haven't seen this part, verse 26 or 27. But it says, when these things come past, lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. This is when you're supposed to lift up your head. When you start to see everything like the parable of the fig tree, just like you see, and you know that when that tree starts to blossom, or the leaves start to fall, summer is near. And he says, so likewise, when ye see these things come to pass, know ye that the kingdom of God is nigh at hand. Verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass away until all be fulfilled. Okay. Talks about this whole reference here that he gave in Matthew chapter 5, when he says, heaven and earth shall pass away, but my word shall not pass away. Just like he says, not one jot or tittle shall in no wise pass from the law till all be fulfilled. It's the whole thing. It says here, this is very key. This is what the warning that he gave us. And these three verses here is the warning. He says, and take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness and cares of this life, and so that day come upon you unawares. For as a snare shall it come on all them that dwell on the face of the whole earth. The whole earth. It's kind of like what we just heard dealing with this whole thing here. Everybody wants to go back to normal. They're just like, okay, let's see. We're going to see how many people wants to get sticked, and we're going to give them, it's going to be that one last time, and it's going to really, yeah. But anyway, just keep in mind, let's play a little bit of this. Keep in mind, this is their last, the last card, right? Carol Rosen, she was a director at NASA, worked side by side with Warner von Braun, said the last card they're going to pull is the fake alien threat, right? That's what she said. Let's play the rest of this.
That's not where I thought y'all put it.
Where did you think I put it?
That's not important. So how did you convince your employees to let you brainwash them into getting chips in their hands?
Because they saw that we could do something that truly could just change the world.
Change the world. You hear this narrative pushed all the time. We're going to change the world, right? Yeah. Change the world back to the days of Noah. That's what's going on.
I literally can, with the swipe of the hand, do anything.
With the swipe of your hand. Remember, I said years ago, when you see people doing this, let me bring this up on my channel. Let me bring this up because it is very fascinating. I was talking about this years ago. Many other people was talking about it years ago. And, people just, probably have amnesia. Probably forget. So easy, right? So let's go here. I said before, and they put out this little cartoon, actually, where's that video? Oh, I didn't do it over here. I'm sorry. I got to go over here. Unless they took it down. I hope they didn't take my video down. But I think it's over here that I posted it because I didn't want them to, take my video down. Nope, it's not over here either. It gotta be over here. You know what? I think it's on Facebook, I believe. I believe I just uploaded it to Facebook. Because that's like where I post all this other stuff as well, all my other information. So let's see here. See if I can find this video. Okay. Again. Let's see. That's one. And as you see, I posted this up yesterday. Okay, it makes sense that it would be, if it was in the back in the days of Noah. You guys could check this out. This was at July 12th, roughly 5 days ago, 6 days ago, and 5 days ago. Okay, talking about this, right? Supposed to count. And they're telling us, throwing it out there. I don't want to really get too many people on my all this stuff. That's that thing they talk about. You're not gonna own anything. Oh, this the guy that goes up against. You guys should know this guy. He appeared on someone's show, lying about who he is. Right? Again, you guys go check that one out. Posting the stuff about the drought, earthquakes. This is when the earthquake happened. It was a swarm. I was covering that. So again, I cover stuff that I don't really cover on Facebook. I mean, YouTube, because again, YouTube's a tyrant. They don't believe in freedom of speech, right? So I'm talking about all this. All right, I would have to go through all this, but all in all, basically they're talking about this in a little animation. But before I conclude this short little live, I just thought I'd bring this to everybody's attention so people could be aware of what's going on, right? Because again, it's just sad. Because I know even though people are listening, some people might be the ones to go and get this. So let's hear it from this guy.
They came back to us and they said, we want something better than that. And so we said, if you have enough money, we can develop anything. I was not alone there. There were 100 people involved in the project. Some were from General Electric, some from Motorola, some were from the Bell Laboratory, some were from the Boston Medical Center, and some were from Stanford University. My responsibility was project leader or the senior project engineer. We began to work on the design of a microchip that, when it was completed, was 0.75 millimeters in diameter, 7 millimeters long. It was the size of 1/4 of a grain of rice. Again, I want to say that I was not a Christian and there were no Christians there. They said they wanted this to have a power source and be able to emit a signal. And they told us they wanted us to use lithium as a battery source. Lithium's used in watch batteries. It's used in heart pacemaker batteries. It's used in a lot of places. I designed into this microchip a little charging circuit that would charge that battery. This sounds like a lot of technical things coming together, but if you'll bear with me 1 minute, you'll see what God has laid out about this microchip. When we discovered that we needed to be able to charge that battery, I needed a temperature change, a change in temperature to cause current to flow through that little charging circuit that would charge the battery. So we began to investigate and find out where in the body does the temperature change the most rapidly. We spent over $1 million in taxpayer money, and when the results came back, there was a lot of information. We divided it up amongst 3 teams and then came back together with that information. It was determined that there were 2 places in the body that were ideal for the microchip. One was just below the hairline on the forehead. Every mother checks their child's temperature right here. So we could have paid the mothers $1 million and saved I never saw a mother check their child's temperature on their ankle, always right here. The other place was the hand, the right hand preferred, because most people are right-handed. This didn't bother me, and it didn't bother anybody else on the team.
All right, so you hear what this guy is talking, what this guy is talking about, right? Now let's go back right here. You hear what the guy just said, okay? Sounds familiar, right? Here it is that he's referring to. He didn't know that he designed this. You're going to hear it in this little clip here. Let's continue.
Team. The hand seemed a good place. Nobody wanted it here. And so the design work, everything was completed. The microchip was done. You're seeing it now on some of the Discovery Channel presentations. There are people who have received it already. It is real. It's not something that's coming way down the road. They gave me a Bible. They told me not to read the book of Revelation. They said the book of Revelation is too hard to understand. So I waited, and I didn't read the book of Revelation.
You hear this? You see, they told him don't even read the book of Revelation because they knew what he who knows? Maybe he was deceived into making it. Maybe he wasn't. Maybe no one knows. But the fact of the matter is, sort this out for yourselves and come to your own conclusions, because believe it or not, this guy's going to tell you something that's going to probably shock you. Listen.
For quite some time. Then one day I came to Revelation 13, verse 16. And he caused us all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. I didn't like what I saw. I went back and looked up the word mark. I went to the Strong's Concordance, and I found that John had used 3 words for the word mark. Charagma, character, and charax. That was from the Greek. I looked at those words. They talked about a scratch or an etching. They talked about a lot of things. And I said, God, this isn't it. We didn't do it. He said, go to the word for 666. The word is chixestigma. In the Greek, it says to go to 4742 as a cross. The last half of the word chixestigma. And when I looked at what it says stizo, i.e. to stick, to prick, a mark incised or punched into for recognition of ownership. I thought about the little injection tool. The end of it is called an incisor. I began to weep and I began to cry, and I said, oh God, what have we done? I couldn't believe that this lined up with what we had developed. And I began to run from God. I didn't run away from the church. I ran into the church. I tried to do as many things as I could to atone for this. But I want to tell you something. As God is my witness here tonight, this got in the way. Money got in the way.
Yep. And that's what happens. You know, it gets in the way, right? This is why they want everybody. This is why they're spreading all this money around. It's getting in the way, right? They want everybody distracted. Oh, you want to go back to normal? Here, just take this. And then you go back to normal and distract. And then, hey, you need a booster. Go back and mask up and distract. And then, you know, not saying that it's here now, but who knows, right? And again, fair use, section 107 of the Copyright Act in 1976, you know, and I'm using partial content, right? Just showing people, right? It shouldn't be a problem with me showing this if it's on all over YouTube, unless, and if I get a strike for this, they might as well strike all these other channels because you know, most of these channels are, you know, from their platform, what the news is putting out. So let's see if they're going to deplatform them. Because, you know, it got to be some kind of justice on both ends. And I didn't mention a word. So if they do bring it down, that just shows and proves that this is all about banning people who believe their Bible. That's it. And now we know the time we're in, right? Because it's getting kind of ridiculous, right? That they want to keep pushing this nonsense. And then I see all these channels just disappearing. Good channels, warning people, right? I probably might be one of them, but hey, who cares? I got BitChute, and once that's gone, you know, and this, you know, it's just, you know, time almost up. You know, they moving and they're pushing it, and they're going to keep pushing it. And that reminds me of that cartoon that came out in 2012, I Pet Goat, with the egghead guy. And you see the TV with the snake-like guy, you know, badgering, right? Badgering the people. You know, I think we're on that little part of their plan. And just to close this out, I'm going to show you guys what card they're playing, because I've been looking at these cards for years and it's ridiculous. This is the card that they have in play right now. It's going to look real familiar. And this is why I say it's in play, right? You might say it's conspiracy theory, but hey, this is the card they're playing right now. And you notice right off the bat, epidemic. And you notice right off the bat, right here, and right here, and right here. Okay. Again, this is the card they got in play. Find it also very, very fascinating. They have this one as well. This one. You know, all three. These are the cards they got in play, I bet. Right in this order as well. The CDC, the EP, and the PR, right? All three being done right now, right? So again, you know, just a little heads up as they got this. Just like they got the flat earth card here. And it says people laugh, but the flat earthers know something, right? Because we do know something. We know it's biblical. Anyway, I'm about to call it a day, guys. Shalom. Hope many are enjoying the Shabbat, and I hope many people go and study. And look, remember, Bible is the textbook, Earth is the classroom, and we all must pass the final exam. And that's come as a man, die as a man. You know, don't merge yourself with this coming technology and this machine and this iron and clay kingdom that they got building right now with the nanos. Shalom.